All right, we'd like to welcome 8-time PGA Tour winner Mike Weir into the interview room here at the RBC Canadian Open. Mike, obviously serving as a President's Cup captain in 2024. Originally, we had some news to share today, but we're going to push that down the road a little bit. But ahead of your 30th start in the RBC Canadian Open, if we could just get an opening comment from you on what it means to be playing in your National Open.
Well, it's always an honor to be back playing the Canadian Open. You know, 30 years, 30 or 31. I'm not 30, I think, right?
This is number 30.
This is 30.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of great memories over the years. I mean, from my first time qualifying for the event when I was in college and getting in on a Monday qualifier, and I remember winning in a playoff to get in. How excited I was to play my first Canadian Open, and you know, sit here 30 years later, still be playing is amazing. So, yeah, looking forward to getting the start here in a couple days again.
Obviously, this is Oakdale's first time hosting the Canadian Open.
Mm-hmm.
Could you give us an idea of your familiarity with this golf course and if you've seen it this week at all?
You know, not very much at all. You know, I was telling some guys that I think I was 15 or 16 years old was the last time I played here. And you guys know Brennan Little, who caddies for Gary Woodland now. We played an Ontario best ball here. And the only thing I remember about it was that Brennan eagled the last hole for us to get in a playoff, and we won the Ontario best ball when we were 16. So I think a lot of the older amateurs weren't too happy with a couple 16-year-old kids winning the Ontario best ball. But I think that was the last time I was here and playing the golf course. So got around to play it the front nine today. You know, very challenging front nine, the back nine, maybe a little bit more scoreable. Course in great condition, though.
All right, we'll take some questions out here. If you have a question, we'll get a microphone to you. We'll start up here in the front.
Good afternoon, Mike. Simon Dingley from CBC.
Hi, Simon.
The bombshell that was dropped today about LIV and the PGA merging. First of all, what's your reaction to that?
Well, I'm kind of finding out, is just like you guys did. There's not a lot of detail, you know, so I don't really know much about it yet. So hopefully in the next few days we'll hear as things kind of unroll or roll out to see what the details. You know, from my perspective, being a President's Cup captain, where that leads, I don't have any answers on that now, but I'm as interested as anybody to see where that goes here in the next few days, few weeks.
Do you have any moral concerns about the PGA getting into bed with the Saudi government, essentially?
You know, that's not my, you know, right now, I mean, there's so many things up in the air. I don't know. It's not, I hadn't really thought much about that.
Other questions? Yeah. John?
Hey, Mike. In the game of golf steeped in history, how important is it to have the world's best players playing together if we want to look at history books and records?
I think that's important, yeah. I mean, I think that is that when the best players are playing together, you know, you get, I think everybody wins when you see, like at the PGA Championship there in New York, when the best players are there. I think it gets everybody's game up to a certain level. And to be frank, when I was playing in my best, I want to be playing against the best players. And so I think that's a good thing for the game.
And how is your game right now? I know after the Masters, you said you were maybe going to be looking at or working on your putting. How are things going into this week?
I'm actually putting pretty well. The rest of my game's just not been super sharp, but things are kind of coming together. And, you know, I haven't played quite as much as I'd like to coming into here. A lot of stuff going on, but, you know, I think this golf course kind of suits me pretty well. I think that's I'm excited about that. You know, it's not a overbearing long course. It's more strategy, and you have to get the ball in the fairway. So, you know, maybe suits my game a little bit more than maybe some other courses.
Bob on the left.
Mike, when you were
there we see.
Back in 2004, when you got in that playoff with VJ, what did something like that mean to you in terms of coming that close and yet not getting quite over the lip? Like, what was the last playoff holes for you? You knew you could end the drought, and I wonder if that was at the back of your mind and what that would feel like for a player who might be doing it this week. Yeah,
I mean, that's, you know, I would say that maybe that's a little bit different scenario for the other players this week. I think for the time period in my game where it was, I was at the, one of the best players in the world. The expectations were high. It was, there was a big, the World Cup hockey was in there. There was such a big energy going on at Glen Abbey that year. And hopefully if one of the Canadian guys and somebody gets in contention, it'll be like that. But I suspect it probably wouldn't be that insane that it was that week. So that was a little bit maybe different. But I guess to answer your question there, as how I felt, it's, yeah, those things, can't help but those things run through your mind, to be the first Canadian to win that in over 50 years. And those are the things you got to temper and put behind you and just try to get on with business. But it's hard to do, no doubt.
Got one next to Dan over here, to the left
Mike?
of the camera.
Where am I? Oh, there. Sorry.
Hi, Walter Rigobon, Zoomer Media.
Hey, Walter.
If anybody wins the Canadian Open this year, I'd love to see you win it.
Thank you.
But if you can't, or you don't, there's so many Canadians in contention.
Mm-hmm.
What would it mean to you personally for a Canadian to win the Canadian Open this year?
Oh, it'd be fantastic. I would love to see, if it's not myself, one of the other guys win this week. There's nothing to make me happier, put a smile on my face and go shake whoever's hand that is and congratulate him, because it's due, and we have such a great crop of guys now that could get it done, where maybe in my day there was a couple of us. Now there's multiple guys that could win this championship. So it'd be a thrill. It'd be great.
Adam? in the
Hey, Mike.
front row.
Obviously, the President's Cup is right there. The runway is getting shorter, I guess, after every week.
Yep.
But on a week like this, when you're teeing it up on the PGA Tour, are you introducing yourself to maybe some people who maybe they don't know who you are, or are you saying hi to some potential guys who might be on that team?
Yeah, definitely. If I see guys on the range or in the locker room that are some up-and-comers, and I'm trying to make myself familiar for them and let them know that I'm here to talk to them about whatever questions they may have. We're sticking some T-shirts and hats in guys' lockers this week, and just get them thinking about it. Even though we're a year and a half out, it's I've been getting a lot of questions about it from some of the guys internally, and guys are very interested. I think anybody who's been on the team knows how special it is, and they want to be on the team. So we have some great Canadians playing really well. That'd be a real thrill for me. So that if 2, 3, 4 of these guys can make the team, it'd be really special.
Now, you've talked kind of in the past about, obviously you took a major championship over the hump, you won the Masters. For the guys to get into the mix more often, like Corey at the PGA Championship was in the final group on Saturday, how important is that for the guys who are maybe have won on PGA Tour, but now they're looking forward to breaking through and winning a major themselves? How important is it to get in the mix?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's really important. I think it's more unusual than usual for guys not to have those steps and those, where you fall back and maybe don't get over the line, and you learn from it, and then you take another little step forward, and then hopefully, win one of these big ones. So it's unusual that you get in that position the first time and win one. We have some special players in the history of the game that have done that, but the majority of guys, it's a learning curve. So it's the more often you can get yourself in those positions, and even if you do, don't play your best, you try to learn from it, and you'll be a little bit stronger the next time.
Other questions for Mike? All right, Mike, we appreciate your time. And sorry, one more on the
Sorry,
right.
Miles
Yeah.
Victor, CBC Sports. I was just wondering, you've spoken about how special this tournament is. Does this morning's announcement change that at all for this week?
No, not at all. This is, that's an announcement for the tour and what's going on with the future of the tour and what that looks like. But, we're all here this week. The guys, however many, 156 guys that are here are focused on winning this championship. And, for me personally, it doesn't change a thing. Trying to get ready for Thursday, and I'll go back to the range and get practicing, and it's something that's going on, and that'll all shake itself out. And, but yeah, doesn't change anything.
All right, Mike,
All right.
thank you very much, and best of luck this week.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, everybody.